Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, February 6th. We have Steve Greenfield co-hosting the show again. He's going to have to sit still while I say a bunch of good things about him. But I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a little game this weekend called the Super Bowl. And we were like doing the pre-show. We're talking about like...
Paul, is there a reason why your background's green?
Is it? Oh, it just kind of matched it, you know. Like it kind of just, I think, took the environmental...
there you go. Okay.
Color
just
of
by
this,
coincidence. Just by coincidence.
Of this Eagles Sotokan jersey signed by Brian Westbrook. I know. We can't escape it. And we were talking before the game. I'm like, how can I talk some smack? You're like, I don't know. You're going to alienate half the audience. I was like, I think we have at least 75% of the country rooting against the Chiefs. I don't know if it's for the Eagles, but it's definitely against the Chiefs.
Let's see what the odds are.
Oh, okay. Look at us. See, absolutely. I feel, Eagles fans always feel this blend of optimistic and terrified. We kind of expect to lose, but you're
on eggshells.
Absolutely. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you had suggested maybe we go online and we do a challenge and let people donate some money to a great cause like Vehicles for Change. And we'll just track it in LinkedIn comments, and the losing team has to make the donation. So Vehicles for Change wins, the industry wins. And
I like it.
I think we might start something about that. So if you're in on this, right, hit us up in the DMs or just make a comment, but we might actually put this together because this is what happens with me. And Nathan, our head of production, is back there, and Steve dropped this idea. I'm like, well, I had work to do today, and Nathan's like, don't do it.
Well, I will say, Asodu loves nothing more than a manufactured idea that they can execute in the next 24 hours.
It's really, it is just, it is absolutely par for the course.
Who needs sleep, right?
Get the energy. Exactly. Who needs,
webinars to do.
Yeah, right.
We did drop a new podcast yesterday, on our Auto Collabs podcast. It's Auto Collabs, COLLABS. And we got to sit down with U.S. Senator Bernie Moreno at Public Policy Day and talk about the changes that are being made, talk about the new administration's view. And it is so cool to have a car guy, like a good, reputable dealer now in the U.S. Senate. We were talking about, what cars his sons are buying. We just had a great time, chopping it up on this podcast. So make sure you go check it out. It'll be on our LinkedIn and things like that. But if you want to hear the podcast, you can just search Bernie Moreno Asodu and it'll probably come up. So a lot of fun. Also, Sotokan tickets are live. They are up. We are putting together programming. We're thinking of adding a few extra things to the day before Sotokan. So more to come on that. But now is absolutely the cheapest you're ever going to get your Sotokan tickets. So we have a ton of interest in this already. A bunch of tickets sold already. And since NADA show got kind of a couple, monkey wrench thrown in those plans, there's also a lot of sponsor interest to come to a Sotokan for the first time. So if you want to be a part of this, there's going to be tons of dealers there. There's going to be a lot of conversation there, and it might be a good place to spend a couple of days in May, the week after Mother's Day. Sotokan.com. Let's get into some news, Steve. Got it all out of the way. All right, so the anticipated Honda-Nissan mega merger is on the verge of collapse after Nissan's board rejected Honda's push to make it a subsidiary. The move was seen by Nissan executives as a violation of the original merger terms, which they had envisioned a holding company structure rather than an outright acquisition. Honda wanted faster reforms, believing that full control would force quicker decision-making, whose restructuring has been very slow since its 2023 losses. Nissan CEO Makoto Uchida personally traveled to Tokyo on February 6th to inform Honda CEO Toshihiro Mibe that Nissan would be opposing the deal. Nissan's restructuring plan, its third one, by the way, since 2019, focuses on job cuts, reduced production, and cost savings. But Honda was frustrated with the pace of change. If the merger does collapse, Nissan may return to a tech-sharing deal with Honda or explore new partners like Foxconn, while Honda could still attempt a hostile takeover by offering $500 to $600 or yen per share to get shareholders to put some pressure on it. Both OEMs sell under $4 million vehicles annually and are under pressure to scale up or risk falling behind global competitors like Hyundai, Toyota, or Volkswagen. So big conversations going back and forth, it seems, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a saying if you're in mergers and acquisitions that every deal dies 3 times. So this may not be dead, right? There's always those moments during a deal where things look like there's no remedy, right? No resolution. But let's see. But I think that the truth is the existential threat of the Chinese to all these automakers, not only the Japanese automakers, but maybe most notably the Japanese automakers, is going to force a lot more collaboration behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe sharing, software development or EV technology. But I think we are on the cusp of more M&A. You're going to see big potential deals over the next 18 months. And it's all because the Chinese are coming for these legacy automakers, sometimes in their domestic markets, but definitely in these other markets around the world.
Nissan just today announced a pretty aggressive stair-step incentive program. They're trying to do something to bolster sales, even in the midst of all these merger talks. It's got to be a pretty challenging thing to be forced to make business decisions while considering they all might be upended if a merger and acquisition happens. It's definitely not good news for Nissan dealers, I don't think. I mean, I don't know if merger or not merger is good for Nissan dealers, but I think just the general environment of uncertainty is not what Nissan dealers need right now.
No, because I mean the Nissan employees are uncertain. The product the product pipeline is pretty stale right now, so there's not a lot of exciting product in the pipeline for Nissan dealers, and therefore they need something to juice results. Stair steps are definitely a double-edged sword. NADA does not like stair steps in general. It dries out profitability and diminishes the brand, and then causes all kinds of dysfunctional aggressive dealer behavior against each other, which is never a good thing either. But if an OEM's got sort of a stale product pipeline and has to move vehicles, there aren't a lot of other ways other than you give consumers incentives or you give dealers incentives, and you combination of both in this case.
I know. Yeah, I mean, we definitely it's got the big potential to erode public trust in dealers in general, stair step programs, because just of the way they're structured. So we'll see what happens. We'll have Kyle march over there to the Nissan headquarters in Nashville and see if he can knock up and get some insights. All right, this is the part of the show where I get to say good things about you, and you have to wait until I'm done, and then you can respond.
All right. I'll keep a straight face. I'll keep a straight face.
Yeah, you're like, can you invite me back tomorrow too? Back.
yeah. Keep it coming. I'll have to make sure my mother's watching here. I'll call her.
Yeah. Hey, Mom, I'm going to text you a link.
Dial in, Mama. Yeah.
Back in December, we heard about your trip to Kazakhstan yesterday. Astana Motors founder chairman Nurlan Smagulov made a strategic move into the U.S. automotive technology scene with a $3.5 million investment in your Automotive Ventures Mobility Fund 2. The collaboration designed to provide Astana with visibility into early stage auto startups and explore tech implementation back in Kazakhstan. Basically, Auto Ventures has backed 39 mobility startups across 3 funds, focusing on seed stage investments globally. Steve, you, founder, is a well-respected auto retail startup investor, evaluating up to 60 startups a month. And the U.S. auto tech sector in general is booming. American startups raising $56 billion in Q2 2024, a 57% year-over-year increase. My Ventures, which is Mr. Smogulov's $20 million venture fund, has been a supporter of fintech, AI-driven software, and is one of Kazakhstan's first computer vision startups. Mr. Smogulov highlighted your experience, Steve, stating, "This is great, my favorite one. If Steve invests in a startup, then in 99% of the cases, it is destined for success." Is that true?
I don't know. For his words, right? His words. No, we're really honored. I mean, we had a great trip. And Nathan, if you don't mind, pop up that same photo you just put up there, because one good rule of thumb is never stand next to Brian Benstock in a suit. I'm doing my best there, but I mean,
you
Brian
look great in a suit.
Brian, I'll tell you a secret. I mean, and you'll believe this, Paul, knowing him well. Brian wears that suit 24/7. I think he must sleep in that suit, because he was on that suit in the plane the whole ride over, and it was a 24-hour trip. I mean, the guy is always impeccably dressed.
Amazing.
So it's amazing. Anyway,
look at that room. That room full of just well-dressed ladies and gentlemen. That kind of room makes Brian so happy.
Oh, dude, I'll send you a lot of photos from his presentation. He nailed it. And, he's having a real-time translator into Russian, but he nailed it, as he always does on stage. So super impressive guy. Lots to learn from him. But listen, we're really honored. On the Astana team, I know, Paul, you and Kyle have met those folks.
Mm-hmm.
Really great people, hardworking, great innovators in their space, have dominant market share in Kazakhstan, are looking to learn from exposure in the US. They're actually contemplating coming into the US with some physical dealerships and want to get exposure to the innovation they see at shows like NADA, really early stage startups. And so it's going to be a great partnership, and we're super excited, humbled, and honored to be working with them. But just an amazing team, and so yeah, you're going to see them more around sort of these shows here in the U.S. So and don't hesitate to come up to me and get introduced, because these folks are going to be in our ecosystem in the U.S. now, and definitely folks you want to meet because they're super smart, super hardworking, and there's a lot to learn from that market as they will from our market.
You learn a lot about people when you meet them face to face and spend a little time together. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting Mr. Smogulov, but a lot of his team and his executive team, and there is just a general warmth to them, which made me really excited, because what the auto industry is building here and what it means to the country and the communities, it's actually, I think, even multiplied over there because of the way the economy is structured and the opportunity that exists for the auto industry to really continue to support the people of Kazakhstan and what's going on over there. And the fact that they're interested in how do we show the people that we genuinely care about them, and all the other things that they do. And they build these beautiful shopping centers and this art museum. It just makes me happy to think that the auto industry, there are these common threads that are so far away, right? The other side of the world. And now we get to interact a little bit more. Just gets me excited. Because,
yeah, listen, you've obviously done your research, but the more and more I get to travel to these international markets, the more you see that the way consumers interact with dealers is the same. The way that the dealers are interacting with the OEMs, these are the same OEMs globally.
Yeah.
And the dealer model is defensible. It's franchise dealer model, and it's very, very interesting. So yeah, very applicable to take best practices from one market and apply it to others. So I think there's plenty of opportunity to unlock value for both sides by sharing best practices.
I don't know. Maybe we can get them out to a SodaCon.
I think that's very probable. Very probable.
We actually have we have a pretty decent contingent from Spain coming into a SodaCon. We just found out. We'll talk more about it. But
good.
Turn into a little international event.
There you go. Awesome. Love it.
It's an easy spot to fly into internationally.
Indeed. You guys have chosen a great spot. Spot.
All right, one more for today. Volkswagen is set to unveil a new entry-level EV next month with a starting price of, get this, $20,800, significantly undercutting competitors like the $28,000 Nissan Leaf. The new model would likely be called the ID.1, based on the hidden text found in VW's concept image. VW plans to launch it in 2027, along with another budget-friendly EV, the ID.2 All, priced a little higher of around 26,000 US. They also in this article give the price in pounds or euros. Both will ride on an updated version of VW's modular battery platform used in the ID.4 and the ID. Buzz. The automaker is also slashing costs elsewhere, cutting 35,000 jobs in a union deal aimed at saving billions per year. CEO Thomas Schaefer described the model as, quote, an affordable, high quality, and profitable electric Volkswagen from Europe for Europe. So whether or not it'll come to the US, a lot of speculation, but it's going to launch first in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. This is what we need, right? With COVID, we had this MSRP inflation where the average new car now is somewhere close to 50 grand in the US. We're missing any vehicles like under 30 grand. If we can get a car landed that's a good quality EV, which it will be with Volkswagen, and something near 20 grand, I mean, this could really, really resonate with consumers. They could take a lot of market share, drive more adoption of EVs. It's been an area where we just haven't had exposure. And then also, maybe most importantly, circling back to the threat from the Chinese, when you've got folks like BYD with the Seagull that can offer that vehicle retail for like 10 grand, then the automakers are under pressure to bring cheaper product to market to compete with the Chinese and international markets. But even, I'm looking forward to this. So if we can find a couple of other automakers that are able to deliver EVs at a 20 grand price point, it's going to be really, really good for EV adoption.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I don't think there's anything else to be said on that. Steve, always good to spend some time chopping it up with you in the morning. I think one thing is certain, whether you're in the US, overseas, auto dealers are paying attention. They're on the move. They're investing in the future. And the good news is we all get to be part of it.